So I am not going to go into presentation mode because I once again, I want to move some designs around to kind of show you how versatile triangles are. So on my first screen, welcome everybody. I really didn't realize how much fun triangles are until I was kind of forced down the road because for learning how to create triangles and how versatile they are. So this is trying triangles. And I did put that saying down because I thought it was a lot of fun. So on the next page, let's talk about, okay, how triangles are in the evolution of the world and the creation of things. Triangles have been so pivotal and so important for structures and for depth perceptive and conveying symbolic meanings. I didn't realize how pivotal and important they were for the world of design. And honestly, this little one with I'm going to make it a little bigger, you guys, with the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower. It's just kind of cool because I didn't realize that these were actually created from triangles, and that's how they put them together. And then you'll see from Greece to the pyramids to bridges, and even down in Mexico, and the Mayan people knew how important triangles were. So they're fundamental to the world of design and structure. They're very versatile and they're structurally important, and they bring a visual element to our world. All right, triangles are incredibly important in the world of quilt designs and have been the cornerstone of quilting since its earliest origins. And we all know that because we started out with blocks. They were very basic, but adding a triangle just does something powerful to our quilts. And here's why they're significant. Their versatility and design potential. They add movement and interest. So I went and pulled some blocks and some quilts that really gave this visual interest and this movement. And I thought, man, those pinwheels are so cool. And all they are is a triangle. And that's how you make it move. And then we have our 60-degree and how they put that together. And it's just kind of fun. And then we have our basic flying geese, and I call them basic, but they're hard for some, but they draw your eye up or the direction that they're flying. And then triangles are just simply just very interesting. All right, they are building blocks for other shapes. Oh God, we know how important they are and that you can create other shapes just using several triangles. They're great for creating patterns and designs, and you can rearrange the triangles to add, I could give everybody a stack of triangles and we would all have something totally different. And that's what's so exciting about triangles. You can create animals, you can create linear objects, and it's just kind of fun to see the spontaneity and how triangles have evolved quilting to that next level. And they're not just one kind of shape of triangle, there are several that bring that perspective. And they do have historical significance. So I pulled a lot of these quilts, antique quilts. We have the traditional blocks, we have the Underground Railroad, and how our ancestors used triangles to create these interesting quilts and put them together. And you know what? They didn't even have the tools that we have today. And that's what makes them so spectacular. They were all probably hand pieced and put together, and you know what? They really helped they did not waste anything. They used their clothing and they cut their designs out. We're kind of wasteful, and they have taught us a lot of powerful lessons. So with triangles being so pivotal and so important, they have a practical sense as well. They help us develop our skills and help us become better quilters by putting them together. We have to get those points nice and straight. When we first started quilting, our piecing, our points weren't as straight and accurate. But now, as we've been sewing and quilting for a while, our piecing has become more detailed and more accurate, so our points match up. So they brought such elements as chain piecing. I love chain piecing, and I just almost can't do a quilt without chain piecing. And there are a lot of little design secrets. They take up a lot of negative space. They help us with scale and color, and they really enhance the visual impact. Okay, that's enough about the piecing side of it and the cutting and the quilting. Let's jump in to triangle quilting designs. All right. With designs, like I said, I didn't realize how much fun it can be and how easy it is to create designs using triangles, because you're able to break up one little section at a time. I call them the hoop frame of the design world because they add such a great visual impact. Where the hoop frames, when we introduce those frames, they allow you to quilt one little section at a time and then move on to the next. And it's that one little section that you're drawing off of and then moving to the next, that you're just moving across and down your quilt. And yes, you do have to move your quilt, but it allows you to focus on that section. And that's what triangles do. They allow you to focus on just this one little triangle. So we're going to practice using different designs. And this is one that I did a little video on, and I'm going to show you in a minute, but I thought it was kind of fun. I added a loop, but it's coming a different direction. So I made the little petal here in the center, and I used my registration marks. And see how important they are? I did one straight down in the center. I did one on each side, and that's to help keep my petal nice and even on both sides, okay? Those marks are really important to help you keep nice and consistent design shapes. And then I did one across. This is to help me know where I need to start changing and doing my loop. Now, I used a template when I went to actually quilt because my loops can sometimes be bigger or smaller, and that template really helped me make them more consistent in shape and size. All right, so for this design, I would go up and around, okay, come around, come up to the top, and then down this side, and then up this side, back around, and come to the end. This is the first little shape that I did. Okay, when you put both of these shapes together, so what if I turned this one and I pulled it this way? Okay, now I can bring it up and look, I have a block design. And by putting those two triangles together, I have a beautiful block. Now, when you do 4 blocks together, look what you have. This design right down here. So see how versatile triangles can be? So number 1, draw out the actual size of your quilt block that you want to quilt in. This is number 1 thing that you should do when you want to start creating designs to put in your triangle. Then practice different designs. Practice using loops, practice using petals, any shape, even feathers, whatever that design is. But just by practicing, you'll see what you like, what you don't like, and really what you're good at and what you're not, and what you need to practice on. Then use the registration marks to help you identify those key parts of the design to keep them nice and consistent. And so that will help you break it into sections. Then use templates if you need to, and mix and match your triangles. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. All right. So here's my little video. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're talking about trying triangles, and I didn't realize how much fun they were until I started diving into them and creating them. So
This one simple design is just a little petal in the center, and I used a template because I wanted it to be consistent throughout. Sorry, my machine's not level. Anyway, I wanted it to be even, so I named it my top and my bottom because I wanted to lay them on each of the triangles and them to be consistent. Then this is my little loop that I used so that I could come up, and I just placed it. So this is my triangle first, and then this is what it looks like as a whole block. Kind of fun and very simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to start here at this point. Now that I've drawn it out, we're going to, okay, I'll use this hand here. We're going to start here, come up around, end here, and we're going to try to keep these arcs as consistent as possible. That's what I really want to work on. We're going to come up this direction, come down this direction, and then do the same thing, and we'll end here, and we'll tie it off. Now, if I was doing the whole block, I would start here at this block and continue around the same way. Now it leads me into the next. You'll go up and around, and you can go all the way around and end up here. Okay, let's turn the machine on and have a little faith in my abilities. I'm going to keep it on slow. I see that I have it on 11 SPI. I may change that as the stitches, as I look at the stitches closer, but I'm just going to come up. Now I'm going to come up on my arc. Now, see, I kind of got off. But the more I do this, the better I'll become with my arcs. I'm getting a feel for it. So by the time I get to this end one, it will look close to perfect. So I encourage you to really take triangles to heart and recognize how pivotal they can make your design process be if you'll break your blocks up into triangles, segments, and use your markings, use templates, use whatever is easiest for you to create a beautiful design.
All right, you guys, and here is the block when I finished it. It looks pretty darn good, and I'm really proud of it. By using those templates, it helped keep my petal shapes pretty consistent and even. Yeah, I've got some work to do on getting my points right down here. This one's a little off, but I'm not gonna focus on that. It's just a cute little simple easy design to start practicing. All right, let's talk more in-depth triangles. Okay, as I got into it, I started thinking about, God, how can I create some new triangle designs? And yes, these are all going in the automation as I'm creating. All right, so I started just mapping out. I wanted to add some little circles, some little pearls in here, and moving up and adding some movement. And it was a lot of fun. And you'll see what I did to the right side and the left side using these marks really helped me identify and how to keep these sections, this middle section here, nice and even. Because I'm going to come up around, do my little pearl, and come back and come meet in the middle. So that's just one side of the triangle. All right, so then I'm going to go up to the top, and I could actually end there, you guys. Or I could come down here and try to work my way down and backwards. Another way you could do this is stop right here, tie it off, and then start from this side. But this side going backwards, you have to think backwards. But that's my challenge, okay? I want you to try creating those triangle designs different ways. I want you to start on the left side, work your way to the middle, and then stop. And then try it from the right side and try it backwards. That will help your muscle memory and help you start looking at designs a little differently and use the markings to keep them nice and even. So this one little triangle design, I want you to look how cool it looks in blocks. So these are several triangles put together, and it's really pretty. All right, let's talk about putting two different triangles together. So I created all these little simple triangles, but look, I just did a little zigzag triangle. I'll call it the zigzag, all the way across. I kind of cropped off this little end as I was copying and pasting, so ignore that. Anyway, I added it to this little triangle here, but okay, so when you're adding triangle designs together, you want one side to be more detailed and you want the other side to be less detailed. By putting two detailed designs together, it can look kind of a little messy, all right? And it's hard to see what design you're trying to create, although that kind of looks cool. So never mind, I take it back. Okay. I'm learning that I'll eat my words on that one because those two look kind of cool and that could create just one block. So throw that one out the door. Do whatever you want. Any triangle, if you put it together correctly, can look really cool. So just play with this and just make it nice and even and consistent. Like I said, use the registration marks and have a lot of fun. So here's where you guys can put your annotate tool on, and you'll start from the right side and go up and around, and notice how on this little wing or flap, I stopped right here, and then I made my spiral. I came in and stopped. That was a little different look for me, rather than going all the way around and making it a little feather or paisley design. I thought that was fun and interesting. So you'll want to make sure that you use a registration mark right here, because that would be where you'd want to stop this arc. All right, so turn on your annotate and have some fun, you guys. You know where to find them? Just down there on the 3 if you want to use them. Or if nobody knows where they're at, that's fine too. All right, now I'm going to go to the next slide and I'm going to show you what it looks like with them together. So I put those together. So this is a flying geese design, you guys. Look how cool that looks. This is the one little design that I started out with, the same design that I showed you in the video, but I just added my little zigzag to it. And this is what it looks like as a full block. And then I've given you some templates. All right, lots of fun templates. This is the same page that we used for triangle design. So I want you guys to really practice. I want you to come up with a ton of triangle designs because they are much easier than I ever anticipated. Just break them up. There's one last triangle I wanted to show you. Before we jump out, I have a lot of questions and I hope you have a lot of questions. This is another one that I used. So I used this fun little triangle here, and then I just did some circles, some little pearls right along here. And look how cool that design looks. And can you imagine a full set of blocks and how nice that would look and how even? So if you have a hard time with your pebbles or your pearls was what they call them, use a little button or something and draw it along. That way you'll go around, up, down, and go all the way around one full rotation and then come back down and make it. And that will help give you that nice, even, beautiful look that you see that automation does. That's what we're trying to achieve, is a look like you automated it, but you free motion quilted it, you guys. So with my designs, okay, with my templates here, this is your homework. I've given you so many templates to use. I want you guys to practice, and have fun trying triangles. All right, right here, we're going to put them together and have fun putting these triangle blocks. This is one block that you could use a different design in, and then you could put one facing the center so you could have it come to a point. And then I have given you a 60-degree triangle. So I want you to explore and find the visual interest and come up with your own triangle designs. I don't want us to let triangles defeat us, because they haven't in the piecing, and they're just as powerful with the quilting and the quilting design. All right. That being said, this is a little shorter, okay, but that's okay. Then we can talk about triangles. With this class, I want you to really discover and learn and create in the Quilters Playground. And I really appreciate all those who are really promoting these classes. They have helped me so much, and I hope that they've helped you all as well. And so I really want you to help us help you and get someone to register for our next class, and find a friend and help us grow the Quilters Playground, because you know what? There's so much more for us to explore and learn. And I want to thank you for watching and participating and taking time out of your busy day, because it's one of the highlights of my week. Thanks so much. Hey, I have one more little tip for you guys, okay? As you're creating designs, if you have a triangle that the little tip of it is sewn into the seam, we all have had those, okay? Use a triangle design that's more rounded, that doesn't come out to all the way to the point, because if it's more rounded on the ends, it will draw their eye away from that little tip that's sewn in. So yeah, that was just one thing that I kind of learned that will help you, not notice that it's not a perfect point on your triangle.
Another question is, how do you get your lines so thin and straight? Is it you're designing it in Pattern CAD? Is that why?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
If I showed you my little doodles, you would see that it's my doodles that spurred the inspiration, okay? And then I was able to take it and put it in, and that's why it looks so nice and even, is because I did design it, but I didn't use the mirrors or anything like that. So this was kind of fun for me. I learned a lot.
Yeah, and Michelle is asking if it can also be put into your automation. So
Yes,
you showed how to draw
absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're going to do some design work, you guys, coming up. I'm very excited about that as well.